It's dawn, October 25th, 1944. Off the coast of Samar in the Philippines, the sea is flat and quiet. Aboard the escort carrier Fanshawe Bay, a lookout raises his binoculars toward the northern horizon. He freezes. Those aren't clouds, those are masts. Tall, unmistakable pagoda masts, and there are more of them every second. Rear Admiral Clifton Sprague is on the bridge when the report comes in.
Bearing north, closing fast, sir.
He raises his binoculars and his stomach drops. He's looking at the main battle fleet of the Imperial Japanese Navy. 4 battleships, 6 heavy cruisers, 2 light cruisers, 11 destroyers, 23 warships bearing down on his tiny formation at 30 knots. Task Unit 77.4.3 Taffy 3 was never built for a fight like this. 6 escort carriers, thin-skinned, unarmored, slow, built to launch planes, not to trade broadsides. 13 ships in total, not one of them designed to survive contact with a heavy cruiser, let alone a battleship. And at the center of the Japanese line, unmistakable even at this range, sits the largest warship ever built. Yamato. Her 18.1-inch guns can hurl a shell that weighs more than a car over 15 miles. One salvo from Yamato could sink every ship Sprague has. On Yamato's bridge, Vice Admiral Takeo Kurita can barely believe his luck. After days of punishment from American submarines and air attacks that cost him 2 cruisers and the super battleship Musashi, he has stumbled directly into what looks like the American carrier fleet, naked, unescorted, caught in the open. General attack, Kurita orders. Every Japanese gun turns south. Aboard Fanshawe Bay, colored geysers begin erupting around the formation. Green, red, yellow, purple, each color marking the spotting die of a different Japanese ship correcting its aim. Sprague keys the radio. His voice is steady, but the order he gives is one no American admiral ever expected to issue.
Small boys, attack.
Small boys, attack. Commander Ernest E doesn't wait for a second order. He doesn't even wait for the rest of the screen. A year earlier, at Johnston's commissioning, this Cherokee Creek officer told his crew exactly who he was. This is going to be a fighting ship. I intend to go in harm's way.
We are sailing headed straight into harm's way, and I expect every one of you to be ready.
Today, he makes good on every word.
All engines ahead full! Hard left rudder!
Johnston heels into her turn and surges forward alone. Her single stack pouring black smoke, driving straight at the Japanese cruiser column before any other American ship has even begun to move.
What is Johnston doing? She is getting away! Is she attacking? She is alone.
Behind her, she lays a thick smoke screen. It's the only shield the carriers have. If that screen fails, 6 unarmored flight decks will be shredded by shells they have no way to stop. On the bridge, gunnery officer Ensign Robert Hagen watches the range close on his director scope, jaw tight. The heavy cruiser Kumano fills his optics, growing larger every second. At 7 miles, Johnston's 5 5-inch guns open up. They're firing at a warship carrying 8-inch main batteries. Guns that outrange and outweigh hers by an order of magnitude. It does not matter. 200 rounds leave Johnston's mounts in the first 5 minutes. Hits spark along Kumano's superstructure. Then Johnston launches her full spread of 10 torpedoes.
Fish away!
One strikes Kumano's bow, blowing it clean off. The heavy cruiser staggers out of formation, trailing oil out of the fight. But the Japanese have found her. Splashes bracket Johnston in green, red, and purple dye. 3 separate ships correcting their aim onto one small destroyer. They're ranging in, Hagen shouts.
They're ranging in! Hold course. Keep firing.
Evans doesn't flinch. Hold course. Keep firing. A salvo of 3 14-inch shells from the battleship Congo strikes Johnston almost simultaneously. The hits rip through her engine room, knock out half her guns, and shred the bridge. Evans is thrown sideways. When he picks himself up, 2 fingers on his left hand are gone, and his shirt has been torn off his back by the blast. He wraps a rag around his hand and stays on the bridge. Watching Evans charge in alone breaks the hesitation over the rest of the formation. Aboard Hoel, Commander Leon Kintberger orders his ship into a torpedo run against the battleship line itself. Heermann follows right behind.
Hold to Heermann, making smoke and bells, heading north.
Then comes something the Japanese don't expect at all. The tiny destroyer escort Samuel B. Roberts peels out of formation and follows the destroyers in. Lieutenant Commander Robert Copeland, a peacetime lawyer from Tacoma who joined the reserves because he thought it was the right thing to do, is taking a ship built to hunt submarines and pointing it at the largest battleship ever constructed.
May God have mercy on us all.
Copeland gets on the intercom. His voice is calm, matter-of-fact, almost conversational.
We're making a torpedo run. Direct your attention to standard procedures. The outcome is doubtful, but we will do our duty.
Roberts' single 5-inch gun crew loads and fires so fast, the paint on the barrel blisters and the metal begins to glow cherry red. Her 2 torpedoes leave their tubes and streak toward the heavy cruiser Chokai. On Hoel, Kintberger's torpedoes are already in the water, fanning toward the battleship Yamato.
She's turning! Yamato is turning away!
The enormous ship is forced to turn away to comb the spread. And that single evasive turn carries Kurita's flagship out of the battle for nearly an hour,
Yamato is turning
removing
away!
the most powerful warship in the world from the fight at the moment it matters most. Heermann closes to within 4,000 yards of the battleship Haruna. So close her 5-inch shells are hitting nearly flat. Her crew can see individual Japanese sailors on deck. For 10 impossible minutes, 4 small American ships, 3 destroyers, and 1 undersized escort are standing directly between the most powerful surface fleet Japan has left, and everything it has been sent here to destroy. On the carriers, Sprague's formation turns east and runs, laying smoke, weaving between shell splashes that tower higher than their own masts. The carriers were never built for speed. 18 knots is all they have, and the Japanese cruisers are making 35. Overhead, his pilots are already improvising. Wildcats and Avengers launch off pitching flight decks carrying whatever's sitting on the racks. Bombs meant for shore targets, torpedoes, and when those run dry, depth charges dropped on battleships that were never built to withstand a weapon designed for submarines. Some pilots make dummy strafing runs with empty guns, diving straight at cruiser bridges to force Japanese gun crews to flinch and lose their spotting solutions. Lieutenant Commander Edward Jimmy Huxtable leads his Avengers through a wall of anti-aircraft fire so thick the sky turns black. He drops his torpedo and pulls up so close to a cruiser's mast that his tailhook nearly catches the rigging. On Yamato's bridge, Kurita watches the chaos with growing unease. Destroyers charging his battle line, torpedo bombers diving through his flak, carriers that refuse to die. This is not how escort carriers are supposed to fight. This looks like fleet carriers. This looks like a trap. The thought begins to gnaw at him. Evans somehow keeps Johnston fighting long past the point where any ship should have stopped. With one engine gone, half her guns wrecked, and her steering damaged, he steers from what's left of the fantail, relaying rudder commands by hand signal down an open hatch to men working the tiller by hand in the dark.
Rudder is easing! Hold her steady! All engines, full speed.
When a Japanese destroyer column moves to torpedo the carriers, Evans turns into them and fires what guns he has left, breaking up their attack run through sheer aggression.
Incoming shells and disperse now! Enemy destroyer is closing in on us! Our formation is completely broken!
Another salvo finds Johnston, then another. At 9:45, she goes dead in the water, her surviving guns still firing manually until there is physically nothing left to load. Hagen counts the incoming salvos from his wrecked director station, unable to do anything but watch shells walk closer. With each impact, the order comes at last.
Abandon the ship!
Abandon ship. Evans is last seen in the water near his sinking ship, helping wounded men into rafts, directing survivors away from the suction of the hull. He is never seen again. For his actions this morning, Commander Ernest Edwin Evans will become the first Native American naval officer in history to receive the Medal of Honor. By now, the American destroyers protecting the carriers are either destroyed or fighting for their own survival. With nothing left standing in their way, the Japanese cruisers move in close, right up next to the carriers themselves. One of them, Gambier Bay, has almost no armor at all. Her hull is barely thicker than a car door. At this close range, shell after shell tears straight into her. Some of those shells punch clean through her flight deck and out the other side without even exploding. Her hull is so thin, there's nothing solid enough inside to set them off. Fire breaks out. The ship starts leaning to one side. Water pours in below the waterline. And still, she tries to keep moving. Gambier Bay becomes the only American aircraft carrier in the entire war, sunk by enemy gunfire alone. As she goes down, her crew jumps into water already thick with oil and wreckage. And even as they swim for their lives, they keep looking back at the battle still raging behind them. Roberts keeps firing long after any reasonable calculation says she should have broken off. Her single 5-inch gun crew loads and fires so fast the barrel itself begins to sag from heat distortion. When the breech mechanism finally fails, the gun crew pries it open with a hand tool and loads one last round, manually. A Japanese cruiser's 8-inch battery finds Roberts at last. The first salvo opens her engine room to the sea. A second hit wrecks her remaining gun. Fire spreads below decks. Copeland gives the order to abandon ship.
All hands, abandon ship. Godspeed.
As he goes over the side, he looks back at the tiny hull that was never designed for anything like this, and watches her go down, still pointed toward the enemy. The destroyer escort that fought like a battleship takes 90 of her crew with her. The survivors spend 50 hours in shark-infested water before rescue arrives. Then, at the exact moment that should deliver a total, crushing Japanese victory, with the American screen shattered, a carrier already sunk, and the landing beaches wide open, Vice Admiral Takeo Kurita gives an order no one on either side expects.
もう終わりだ。戻るぞ。撤退だ。
All ships, reverse course.
Confused by the sheer ferocity of the American counterattack, unable to account for why escort carriers and destroyer escorts are fighting like fleet units, and increasingly certain he has stumbled into a trap rather than a windfall. Kurita pulls the most powerful surface force the Imperial Japanese Navy has left back through San Bernardino Strait and leaves Leyte Gulf, and the entire American invasion behind it, completely untouched. His staff officers stare at each other. No one speaks. By the time the guns fall silent, Taffy 3 has lost Johnston, Hull, Samuel B. Roberts, and Gambier Bay.
Keep looking out.
Over 1,000 American sailors are in the water. Hundreds will spend days adrift in shark-infested seas, clinging to rafts, waiting for a rescue that very nearly forgets them entirely. But 3 Japanese heavy cruisers, Chokai, Chikuma, and Suzuya, lie sunk or crippled beyond repair. A 4th, Kumano, limps away with her bow gone. And the invasion of the Philippines is saved. Saved by 7 small ships and 400 aircraft that were never supposed to survive contact with the enemy battle line, let alone win. Ernest Evans is posthumously awarded the Medal of Honor. Robert Copeland receives the Navy Cross. The survivors of Samuel B. Roberts carry home a story so unlikely that for years afterward, other sailors assume they must be exaggerating. They aren't. Just hours later, over that same quiet stretch of Philippine water, the Japanese will unleash a weapon no one has ever seen used in organized warfare. A pilot, an aircraft, and a mission with no intention of ever coming home. But that story is for next time.